Hi, this is Steph with Belladonna Dyes, and today's project is going to be a light rayon caftan. For this project, I'm tying it in the geodes. And so what I did is I scooped up all the fabric that I want to tie off, and then I'm just going to wrap it with sinew. So I get my sinew started, I go around a couple of times, 2, 3 times, and then I pull it tight. And once the sinew catches on itself, I wrap it around a few more times and pull it even tighter. I pull it really, really, really tight. My knuckles turn white. And then I move on to the next geode. And I like to go really random. So maybe like an inch apart, and then do some that are 1/2 inch apart, a few of those, and then another one that's an inch apart, then 2 inches apart. The more random, the better. I feel like with the geodes, if you do them all exactly the same, you run the risk of getting a bullseye. And sometimes I accidentally get a bullseye. But for this particular type of a project, I want it to have a really organic feel. This thing is huge. It's 43 inches wide and 55 inches long. That's a lot of fabric, and it took me a really, really long time to tie up. But once you get going, you just sort of find your rhythm, and I was listening to some good music, and so it's no big deal. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me tie up the entire thing just because it's a lot. So I'm just going to tie up this one, and then we'll get right into dyeing. I know you guys have busy lives and don't want to watch me tie up the entire thing. But if there are some of you that want me to do it in not slow motion, but regular time, not sped up, if you're new to tie dyeing and are curious about geodes, maybe I could do it on a t-shirt. Just for this massive amount of fabric, this tutorial would be 2 hours long. As I work my way down, I like to ruffle up the fabric in between each tie. In keeping with that organic feel, I feel like it changes the pleats around, and that way the sinew lines look different from line to line. They're not just all like a straight circle going down. And I'm using my new mega puller from Jen at Etsy Boredom with Jen shop. This one was really awesome for this project because it was so massive. I was able to fill the mega puller up with maybe like twice the amount of sinew, so that way I didn't have to stop in between and refill it. And even if I would have had to stop to refill it, it's no big deal because it takes me like, I don't know, a minute to refill it and just get going. But it was nice that I was able to go start to finish with this larger project. So I love my smaller sinew pullers, and they're perfect for doing smaller projects because, it's just the right amount for a smaller project. And then these larger projects, having the mega puller is awesome. And they come in such a beautiful variety of colors. She's always posting on her Facebook page, Boredom with Jen, all these new colors. And it's like, oh my God, I have to have that color. I'm going to have every single one of them, you guys. It's like, I had to buy every color of dye. Now I'm going to have to get every color of sinew puller. They're so beautiful. Go out and check out her shop, you guys. It's Etsy Boredom with Jen shop. I also keep forgetting, she just started a new website. So if you Google Boredom with Jen, her sinew pullers and matching caddies and other supplies are 15% off right now. So if you want to get one of these, I would take that opportunity to get the 15% off. Next, using a washable marker, I mark out my pattern. And so I just decide how many colors that I have. It could be 5 colors, 10 colors, 3 colors, doesn't matter. Decide where you want, to start your pattern. Make a little mark and then count out however many colors you have and then mark it again. And when I start to lay my dye down, I'm going to mark out, put my dye in all those marks, and then that's my guide. I will just place the dye right next to that color. Really easy. Yay! Now it's time for the fun part. We get to add the dye. We've got all that hard tying and planning and getting your racks and everything, and now we just get to play in the dye. I love it. So for this one, I'm going with purples. It's safe. Usually with me and purples, I can't go wrong. Now, other colors, not so much. Since this is my first time making such a large piece and a caftan, I wanted to make sure that it was going to turn out pretty. Even if things go wrong, purple still seems to look pretty. Hyacinth is a special order dye from Dharma Trading Company. And what I mean by special order is you have to order 10 pounds or more to get the color, and I am not going to buy that amount. So where you can find special order dyes is through Kathy Sprague, and she has a Facebook group and it's called Tie-Dye Supplies Marketplace. So go over and follow her page, and that's where you're going to be able to find small amounts of special order dyes. Once I have the dye on it the way that I like it, I give the project a quick little sprinkle of soda ash for good measure. And this really is just for good measure. It's already soaked in the soda ash bucket. And I've noticed a lot of you guys, you put a really thick amount of soda ash on. If you've already soaked it, you don't need to add a whole bunch of soda ash. Save your money. And then I add my ice. And I decided to rack dye this one just in case if I needed to flip it over and add more dye to the back, I could. But for this one, it didn't need it. It had really good saturation after the ice melted. And then these little foil pans from the dollar store, they leak. So I always place mine down inside of a bin. That way it can catch the leaks. And you want to let it batch at least 24 hours at 70 degrees or higher. This project batched for the full 48 hours. I wanted to make sure that I had maximum bonding with the fabric and maximum vibrancy. Now for the rinse out. And I swear untying these feels like it takes as long as tying them up. It doesn't, but it sure does feel like it. Maybe it's because the excitement, I want to see what it looks like. And I've only untied a couple of these and edited out most of it just because it takes a really long time. So for the rinse out, you want to start by using cold water. That's going to rinse away any soda ash that still is reacting within the fabric. And then increase your water up to hot and rinse until the water runs pretty much clear. The reason you want to use the cold water to get the soda ash out is because you don't want soda ash in your washing machine, because then, if you have a bunch of projects in there, the dye can like redeposit on each other, and you don't want that. And then the hot water loosens up all the unbonded dye, and it can go down your drain instead of into the washing machine. Once at the washing machine, I like to use Kirillon, and Kirillon is a professional textile detergent that I get from Dharma. And I usually do about 2 hot water cycles. And I should also say that when you're washing rayon, you need to use a garment bag if you're going to put it in your washing machine. If you tear a hole in it, Dharma is not going to refund you. Then I do a final hot water cycle using Millsoft, and Millsoft is a professional fabric softener, and I get both Kirillon and Millsoft from Dharma Trading Company, and I have links for them down below in the description box, along with everything else that I use for tie-dye, so it makes it easy for you to find what you need. And then I will iron it, I hang dry it, and then I'll iron it and we'll see the results. Well, here it is, guys. What do you think? I'm in love with this thing. I think it turned out so beautiful. It's so vibrant. The colors are beautiful together. I think I just love purples and blues. They're my favorite to work with. it's just so pretty. It's got good saturation, a nice pattern. The style is really cool. I love it. Now, I wouldn't necessarily wear a caftan, but I think it would make a beautiful beach cover up. So these pictures are on the kitchen floor. It's huge. I mean, it's just way too big. But I mean, look at all that beautiful pattern and the sinew lines, and I just love to dye rayon fabric, you guys. If you haven't done it yet, get yourself some rayon and dye it. It's like a whole different world from a t-shirt. So when I had Bella outside trying to photograph her, the wind picked up. I live in the Columbia River Gorge, and it's world famous for the wind. People come from all over the world to do kiteboarding here during the summertime. So I have to stand there forever to try to capture a picture. But look at how light and breezy and beautiful that fabric is. Imagine wearing it, on the beach or next to the pool or on your vacation to some fancy place, and it's hot outside and you're just wearing this light, breezy, beautiful fabric. Now here are the close-ups. Just look at how gorgeous that is. And I'm not sure which color is which. They're all in the shade of purples and magentas. And I don't even care which color is which. They're just so beautiful. I'm pretty sure the hyacinth is the one that looks the most blue though. But orchid also throws a lot of blue. And the deep purple is probably what's throwing the navy blue. Overall, I'm enamored with it. I love it. So what do you guys think? Please leave me some comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, leave a thumbs up, and click the bell and set it to all. That way you get notified of future uploads. And remember, have fun tie-dyeing!